How to always get what you want in life. Did you know that what you unconsciously and subconsciously claim yourself to be is that which will be expressed in your life? Let me show you. So my gorgeous soul, right here will be everything that is expressed subconsciously or unconsciously, while over here we're going to see how this expresses itself within your life. So if you subconsciously think, I'm not smart, then best believe if you believe this today, then it is creating your future. This has an effect on your life. And the effect could be, for example, that you've got less job opportunities. And the reason why this may be the case or the expression is because, well, you don't think you're qualified or intelligent enough to land what you truly desire. And of course, if this can be true, then the opposite can be true as well. If you believe yourself to be smart because you grew up in a household in which you were always told that you can accomplish anything, then you are going to accomplish anything, because he who believes that he can and he who believes that he can't, they are both equally right. So believing yourself to be intelligent and smart, it may come off as cocky to some, but at the end of the day, who's going to be laughing to the bank? It won't matter, because your expression of life is going to be more opportunities and you living life to the fullest. Let's delve into our next example. I'm very or not attractive. And the result of this, my beautiful soul, would be either healthy or toxic relationships. So it always begins with the subconscious thought and belief. Subconsciously, if you think you're very attractive, you are perhaps more likely to have healthy relationships in your life, because you are not living within a mindset of scarcity, that if this person doesn't like you in your most authentic form, you won't find anyone else. So you're trying to make yourself smaller or fit into a box so people will like you, which is often the beginning of a lot of narcissistic relationships. But that is another topic for another day and another video. If you think to yourself that you are not very attractive, you may attract toxic partners who are going to feel that, sense that, and try to take advantage of that. But if you're very self-confident and your subconscious thought is that of you being an attractive person inside and out, that is going to be expressed through healthy relationships being the result of this subconscious thought of yours. And as you guys expressed to me in my last video, wealth is something that a lot of you tie to financial freedom. So let's look at the effect of subconsciously thinking to yourself that you're poor, that you never have enough. What the result of this actually is that you will always be broke. I know, heart-wrenching, painful, but I'm here to tell you the truth. My name's Vanessa Samaina, and I might tell a joke, I might not always take everything so seriously, but what I will never do is tell a lie. And the truth is, oh, I'm poo. Unconsciously, we manifested more jokes. Yes, if you think that you're poo, you will also probably always be broke. Coming back to the subconscious and the result, the expression, if you continuously repeat to yourself that you are poor, then you will less likely see opportunities to get out of this poverty, quite literally speaking, which means that you will always remain broke from there on out. And this all stems from your internal belief that turns into your external reality. And trust me, I am going to share something with you right now that's going to blow your mind. And that is the following: sight and vision. And what is the difference between sight and vision, you may ask yourself? Well, sight is what you see with your eyes. But vision, my beautiful soul, vision is what you see with your mind. And the eternal truth is that your experience in your life is determined by your assumption, whether that's a conscious or an unconscious assumption. And up until watching this video, you may have thought that you make your own decisions and that you're in complete control of your own choices. LOL, think again. In actuality, just as everything in the universe, your life is determined by the law of assumption. And you may now think to yourself, Vanessa, what's the law of assumption? Don't worry about it, my gorgeous soul. I'm going to explain it all to you, beginning with the definition of assumption. All right, let's make some way, some space for us to move more deeply into this. Got some Swiss Windex over here. Hope I didn't get any of that on my shirt. be unfortunate, darling. Here we go. I don't know when I became British. Perhaps as I was drinking this water. I wonder how the captions for this video are gonna turn out. Anyways, you guys, don't know what is going on today. Let's delve into the etymology, which means the root and the origin of the word assumption. So the word assumption is derived from the Latin word assumptio, which is made up of the following. So assumption equals Latin assumptio. So it's made up of ad, which means to or toward. And then of course, once we've defined ad, we still have sumption or sumptio, which is actually sumere, that it's made up of in Latin, which equals to take. So as a result, the word assumption or assumptio in Latin means to take up or to adopt something. So when we're talking about the law of assumption, we're taking up something, we're adopting something. What are we adopting with this universal law? And of course, you've guessed it by now, the law of assumption is of course another manifestation principle. I am going to explain to you as soon as I have cleared up our learning space. Here we go. And by the way, I have not had the chance to formally introduce myself to you. If this is the first time that you're on my channel, my name's Vanessa Samaina. To date, I have self-published 6 best-selling tarot and oracle decks. I've created a 7-figure online business selling crystal jewelry. And as you guys know me from my main channel, which is Vanessa Samaina, you guys know I am completely obsessed with all things manifestation and creating your dream life. And I believe that if I can be the psychic CEO of my life, then you can be the psychic CEO of yours. Now remember, we were about to get into the law of assumption. All right, here we go. We'll just do 2 little hearts right here because why not? Law of assumption basically states that you can use the power of your belief and your imagination to create the life of your desires. And the law of assumption generally operates under the idea that your life is determined by what's going on with you subconsciously and internally. Basically, whatever you are internalizing also externalizes itself. Remember how the Latin definition for assumption was to take on or take up? Well, that's because any assumption that you take on will externalize itself in a material sense. Basically, when you assume something to already be true, your subconscious aligns your thoughts, your actions, and your behaviors with that which you desire, which then brings your assumption into reality. So basically, the law of assumption is rooted in the idea that your imagination cannot tell the difference between what is just a thought and what is real. Basically, by continuously feeding your subconscious with these beliefs that reflect your desires, you are influencing new thoughts which turn into a new set of actions which then create your new desired reality. So the law of assumption actually creates a lot of new opportunity for us to get life to work at our command, and I'll show you exactly why and how. So right here we have an assumption, or let's say an assumed place. And this is our current 3D reality. And this represents a physical place. Bear with me, you guys. This is all gonna make sense. So basically, the law of assumption places you here psychologically in a different place than where you are physically. Let me show you how this works. You may assume yourself to be successful. So all right here, I'm successful. Yes, and I'm a star, so that's why we've got a star right here. So what that does is that even if your 3D reality is right now making you feel boxed in, so I'm just gonna put a square right here, and you're this star, you're boxed up, and you want to find a way to be more successful than you currently are, of course you first have to learn to believe that you can be more than what your current expression is. And once you do that, you learn to expand your reality, as I explained to you in the last video that I published. So the law of assumption allows for you to change where you are psychologically, even though physically you are still boxed in, but psychologically you are free. So I'm gonna put, is this a wing? I don't know, but you guys know this is meant to be a wing, so psychologically you are free. and physically you may still be boxed in. And the grand opportunity we have here is that if you persist for long enough in your assumption, this law has no other option but to make your physical place equal to your assumption. But for a lot of people, this is precisely the straw that breaks the camel's back on their manifestation journey. Let me tell you why. And that is when your physical senses, your physical place in reality, pulls you away from psychologically being in the state of assuming to be that which you desire to be. So when your physical senses pull you back into quote unquote reality, or the reality that you are trying to expand from, and that's where a lot of people end up giving up on their manifestation journeys, because you've got to be mentally strong and resilient to overcome the temporary gap between the physical place and where you are psychologically, which is represented in your assumption. Because when you allow for your physical reality to separate you from assuming the state of your desires, it inhibits you from allowing your psychological advancements to produce their physical counterparts. And I want to make this abundantly clear, so please remember. Always remember that your psychological advancements are what produce your physical counterparts. So for example, if you're working on yourself, you're healing, you're going to therapy because you've been through some sort of trauma, the psychological advancements that you create in healing will have their physical counterparts. Head will feel a lot clearer. You'll feel more confident. You'll be less stressed, less bloated. When I was able to get rid of all the vampires in my life, I literally was able to start a whole new business from scratch. The things you can do when you're in a space of psychological advancement, beyond measure, limitless, insane. Because the law of assumption states that if you rest for long enough in the energy and vibration and assumption of being that which you desire to be, the world has no other choice but to make that your newfound reality. But one thing that is extremely important is that you have to become clear on what your desires actually are. Because without crystal clear desires, you won't be able to manifest, nor will you be able to use the law of assuming that which you desire to be as effectively. Let me show you precisely how and why, so you can start using this law immediately in order to use it to help you create the life of your dreams. All right. So what we're going to need to do is have crystal clear desires. And I'll give you an idea of what crystal clear means. If you, for example, want to start or run or transform your business or a business you're working in into being wildly successful, you can't just assume, oh, I'm a successful business person or I'm a successful business owner. It's not enough. There's not enough clarity. So what does a successful business actually mean, and what does it look like? So this may be a little different for each and every one of us depending on our personality type. But to me, for example, a successful business encompasses bold and unapologetic moves. Also, not caring about what anyone else thinks. For example, me being on YouTube, it takes a lot more vulnerability to be on YouTube than to be the person who's commenting some sort of unhelpful or hateful comment. Running a successful business means understanding that 99.999% of people have never heard of you or your business ever before, so you're going to have to learn to get comfortable talking about it and also creating content around it in this day and age. Posting on social media, posting on YouTube, creating some sort of visibility for the business and the brand. A very important aspect of a successful business is leadership. And here is where I want to make you aware of an all-important fact that I have learned the hard way when it comes to business. People want to be led. The bolder your action, the better. The more you put yourself out there and tell people precisely where we're going, how we're getting there, and when we're getting there, the more people will be enthused to follow you, because not only are you showing a sort of confidence, but you're also telling them precisely why you're the right one to get them from A to B. So if your business, for example, is selling people fitness courses, fitness classes, meal plans, you're going to tell them exactly where they're going. So how much weight they're going to lose if it's a weight loss plan. Also, how long it's going to take, how many weeks, how many months, how they're going to get there. You're going to want to tell them it's easy. It's not going to hurt. Even if it's going to hurt a little bit, you're going to want to encourage them to think to themselves, to have the law of assumption that they can do this, because otherwise they are destined to fail by definition. So giving other people confidence through your leadership that allows them to get from point A to B. That is when you are stating crystal clear desires, not just I want to be a successful business owner. No, but you're actually stating precisely what you're going to be able to trade in order to be successful, what you're willing to trade aside from your time. Okay, let's talk about the law of assumption and crystal clear desires about being in a healthy relationship. And here I will just also put marriage in brackets because not everyone desires marriage, but a lot of people do still desire the constitution of marriage, and it's important for a lot of you, I know. But we'll see this as a relationship as a whole. Get crystal clear on this. Use the law of assumption. For you, a healthy relationship, being happy alone. Because when you're already happy by yourself and alone, someone can't just come in who is actually toxic to you and make you feel as though your life is better with them than it is without them, because you're crystal clear on yourself. So it is also a healthy relationship, means it preserves your self-confidence, right? Because if a relationship is chewing away at your self-confidence, your desires, you being in your highest expression as a human being, that is not a healthy relationship. So you have to become crystal clear. So when opportunities and people arise, you don't just say, oh, could I have a healthy relationship with this person? No. Per law of assumption, that means the definition of manifesting this is that you are already so fulfilled and self-confident by yourself that all they can offer you is to be a healthy, beautiful addition to your life. And I know you guys love this topic, which is about being wealthy and financially free. So per law of assumption, and getting crystal clear on this, means that being financially free is not just having a high-paying job. We spoke about this in the previous video where I explained to you how you can become wealthy and how you can become successful. I'll leave those linked below in the description box. You need income-generating assets, all right? So that means just as the income generating assets that I have created for myself, like for example, this best-selling Wild Muse Oracle deck, you are going to want to have the same in order to be wealthy or financially free. You're going to need assets. You're going to need something that generates income while you sleep. So basically, you are going to want passive income. And again, why this is so important for us to define this in a crystal clear way is because then, per law of assumption, what you actually desire, so being wealthy and financially free, will come to fruition with ease because you know exactly what it means and what it entails. So the more clarity you can bring into your manifestation, the better and the more successful and faster this will become your new reality. So if there's one thing that I want you to remember from this video is that vagueness is slowing you down. Create clarity. And then you have to have faith in your psychological advancements and hold to them until they become your physical 3D reality. You cannot, under any circumstance, quit beforehand. And of course, your mind will jolt around and you might get triggered back into your current reality and feel the sense of things that you desire being so far away, so far from your current reality. That's normal. Don't get discouraged. Keep imagining yourself to be living that life which you desire. Keep assuming. Be the dream version of you that you desire to be. And that way, the physical and psychological distance will continue to get smaller and smaller as time goes by. And when you maintain the psychological belief of that which you desire, and that distance between your current reality and your desired reality starts to become so tiny that it has no other choice but to actually become the reality that you're living in. It is basically like merging the physical with the psychological. And with that, my gorgeous soul, your imagination is realized in the flesh. I love you all so, so much, my gorgeous souls. Ihr seid die Allerbesten, ich liebe euch. Und für meine Schweizer Familie, ihr seid die Allerbeste, ich liebe euch. Make sure you check out these two videos to learn more about manifestation and leveling up your life. Make sure that you check out the description box if you want to learn how you can create your own income generating assets. I'm sending you all so much love, and I can't wait to connect with you in an upcoming video. Bye guys!